Hi, everybody. Well, welcome to another episode of First Timers and Favorites. I'm joined by Dana. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Steve.
So, and I say another episode, and if you're watching this on my channel and you have not seen any other videos called First Timers and Favorites, that might be because you have not watched the first episode, which is actually on Dana's channel because we're doing this. Yeah. Yes, Dana?
They haven't watched it?
I'm saying potentially, perhaps.
Okay. Hypothetically,
they may not have watched it because what we're doing something a little different with this series, which is that alternating episodes are going to take place on each of our channels. So the first episode, which is the two of us watching and then talking about one of my favorite movies, City Lights, is on your channel.
Yes, because it was my first time watching it.
Exactly. And this episode, where we are about to watch a movie that you picked that I have never seen, which is the Steve Carell, Anne Hathaway version of Get Smart, that'll be on this channel, my channel, because I've never seen it, and we'll just alternate like that. So it's a channel spanning show, is what
it really is. We're pushing the limits of the medium. Steve.
Yes, Dana.
Is this art?
I mean, my definition of art is pretty broad, so I would say it is.
What's your definition of art?
Just whatever.
Okay, it definitely fits in that then.
So we are going to be watching Get Smart. Now, what is it about Get Smart that made you choose it as your first official pick for this series?
I will say, when I pulled it up, it was like Rotten Tomatoes has a 55% on this. I was like, what? Why? And I'm nervous now because I'm just like, why didn't people like this? What's wrong with them? This is awesome. It's fun. It's not super deep. There's not a lot of embarrassment humor. There might be a little bit, but I don't like that.
You
like,
don't
that's
like that, yeah.
Nope, I will walk away. I mean, it's a fun, clever movie. And I think you'll like it, but I don't know. So I'm curious to see what you'll think. And I think that was another main factor too. I hope you like it.
All right, then. Here we go. We're going to watch Get Smart.
Oh, here we go.
I can hardly wait for whatever this is. Ugh. Oh, that's not good.
Nope. Buy milk. Here we go. Honey. It's on me. Wow, that is a very large binder.
Well, he takes copious notes, clearly.
Uh-oh. See, it's timed. Go.
And it cuts him in half. There he is.
And he gets his own intro music.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States.
Sorry to interrupt, Maxie. Go ahead. Next time use your own damn phone.
Okay,
yes, isn't that great?
That was
so
good.
Snappy tie. I need you where you are.
He just wants to be a hero. He wants to be important, and people don't treat him like he's important. He want people to respect him.
But Max should know better. People fail upwards. They don't succeed upwards. That's ridiculous.
Don't love me. Oh, here.
Oh,
Sorry.
Great. That was my last mile. Now I have no idea how fast it
Well,
was.
you were really moving. Not easy to knock me down. I have a very low center of gravity. Pretty solid.
I'm just gonna call that one a 450.
Impressive. I once ran a 5:16.
Oh, really? That's slower.
Well, not everything's a competition.
Well, if it were, I'd win.
Are you flirting with me?
Not at all. Are you flirting with me?
It depends. Is it working?
Not at all.
Well, nice to meet you.
It was a meat ouch.
Hi.
Hi. Agent 13, you are in a tree.
Yeah, communications got knocked out, so they put me in a tree. Old school stuff.
Well, I'm glad to see you're okay.
Yeah.
We also have a new agent, Agent 86.
Who's that, sir?
It's you, Max. Right, Maxie.
Max gets to be an agent because everybody else is dead.
It just goes to show you can succeed through hard work, dedication, and if everybody else gets killed.
being died.
Oh yeah, time to point break it.
Mullets seem to be the fashion in Chechnya.
Yes. Well, you know, business in the front, party in the back.
You are so light on your feet.
I recently lost 150 pounds.
So did I.
This one has a compartment. Inside, there's a pill. If captured, it will cause death in 9 seconds.
Great. But how exactly do I get them to take it?
I love. She's so good. She's so good. So much fun.
It's a tooth radio.
Goodbye.
Before you kill me, would it be possible to meet Borat?
I think you have underestimated me and the element of surprise. I heard it from America's sweetheart, Ryan Seacrest.
Whoa, come on.
It was a coded message.
Max, we're running out of time here. What are you talking about? See, this is your problem. Some men like women who are feminine.
Well, I'm not feminine.
No.
I'm not feminine.
What he means is some men like women who are weak. And no, you're not. And of course, the association of weakness with feminine is that's why she dumped you, dude.
I'll take that briefcase.
If you want it, you'll have to take it.
That's what I just
I know. I'm not to annoy you.
To annoy you.
I wish we had more time to.
So you did hear me.
Max? The train.
Missed it by that much.
Also, there's still a bomb.
The ode to joy will end with a bang.
Good deduction, Sherlock Holmes. Ladies and gentlemen, Leonard Bernstein's Zombie.
Max, we're gonna be late. Oh, Max, let maintenance take care of it.
So, do you like it?
It had its moments. There were bits that I laughed at, as you probably noticed.
Mm-hmm.
There were bits that I did think were very clever. I liked a lot of the Rock's stuff. I wish there had been more of the Rock in it because he did little things like when
I think
he was
honestly, I think it's one of his best performances, if not his
Well,
best.
One of the problems I had with the movie overall is that I feel like the underlying material is really, really weak. And it had an amazing cast. I mean, almost everybody who plays an important character in the movie is fantastic, is an incredibly talented actor. But they just don't rise above what I think is mostly pretty awful material. But The Rock has these moments where he does little things, like when he's holding the gun on Max when they're on the helipad, and he does the thing where like Max bends over and he moves the gun. Like there's just little things that it's like that lets you see that he's doing something and he's into something. Or like their exchange near the end when Max says, if you want this case, you'll have to take it. And The Rock's like, that's what I'm trying to do. You're like, there's this little.
He says, I just said that. And Max says, I know.
That's what I just said.
Trying to annoy you.
That's what I just and that's what you just said is an example of one of the problems I have with the movie, which is they overwrite the jokes. Like there are a lot of instances of that where somebody says something that's like a punchline, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But like whether it works or it doesn't, like a lot of time they'll have somebody come back and say something else, and I'm like, no, why are you still? No, the bit's over. That was the punchline.
See, we've talked about this because that's something like I enjoy, like a further build. Like I enjoy that. I like that, and you don't think that doesn't work for
well, it's got to be good. You know what I mean? Like I feel like and that was a problem for me because I feel like they smothered punchlines a lot by doing stuff like that, or by having something absurd happen and then somebody like comments on how absurd it is, which is like, why are you doing that? And the bit with him in the bathroom where he keeps shooting himself in the face with the arrow. It's like, God, this is taking forever.
Really interesting. That's really interesting because he doesn't shoot himself in the same place. He says different things. He does it in a different way each time. So how is that? It's interesting because you talk about, literally last time we did this, you talked about how Chaplin would do a bit, the same bit repeatedly in slightly different variations. And like that didn't drag, but in this case it does, and that's interesting to me.
That is a good observation. I will attempt to answer it this way. Okay. I will try to sort of
because Steve.
Yes.
I want to understand why you're wrong.
Okay. The underlying bit of him in the bathroom. The bit where it's like the underlying bit makes no sense and is not funny. So it's not just, well, he's repeating the bit. He's repeating a bit that's not funny to begin with. And then he doesn't just repeat it like 3 times like Chaplin usually does. He repeats it
more than 3 times.
Endlessly. And apparently the people who made the movie like that bit so much that they have to have a callback to it in the very last shot. I'm like, real boy, somebody thought that shit was hilarious because like, let's end the movie with it. I mean, I didn't think it was funny the first time he did it. And because like, it doesn't make any sense. Like I understand he's doing something silly, but like, there's no logic.
Why he was doing it in the context of the story?
No, I understand
he's trying to get out the zip ties.
But he has a knife. Why is he shooting at the zip tie with a crossbow when he has a knife in his hand?
They say no. They say it's a Swiss Army knife, but the implication is they've replaced the knife part of it because they mention the things that are in it, and a knife isn't one of them.
And if that and see that does not come across. If that is the logic behind the bit that he can't just cut himself out because there's no knife, then that does not come across at all. If there was and
it would have been an easy fix for them, when the texts are saying that, it's not a pocket knife, it's a Swiss Army knife. And then have the other text say, actually, it's not a knife. It has, like right before he lists the things that are in it, because they talk about that it has some of the other things in it.
That would have been better, but it would have been, I think the ideal way to do it would be to just have him discover it there in the moment, because then you don't have to remember something to make it funny.
Well, yeah, but they would still have to have said that it's not a knife, it has other tools.
Well, they would have had to set up that it's not a typical Swiss Army knife and then just leave it at that, so that it's like, it's in our brain, but we don't necessarily have to spend a whole lot of time on it. And then when he's in that situation where it's okay, time to cut myself loose, then he discovers, much to his horror, that there isn't just a knife in it and there's no way to easily get free. And then you can go into that bit, and that might have helped a lot. But
on the other hand, I liked the line about the spiders having to be milked by hand, and the text line, the text, second line of, and they do not like it.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was really good. I liked that. I would have been
that was funny.
But at the same time, murder your darlings. If the bit goes on too long, and obviously different people have different opinions on what makes not only what makes a bit too long, but which bits are too long and which bits are okay. Because a lot of the times with Chaplin, I was just like, okay, you did that already. And then, so it's interesting that, yeah. So it's really,
I mean, another
like
problem.
I said, I am a sucker for dialogue bits.
And some of the dialogue bits I thought worked. Some of the dialogue bits I thought were clever and were funny. But again, there were a lot of bits where I just thought, like, they're saying too much. They're over talking it. They're, you know what I mean? Like they could have sort of chopped it down into a clever little exchange, and then it's like, nope, keep talking. It's like, oh no, stop.
I'm trying to, I don't know that I've ever felt that way. I don't know that I've ever felt
well, I know,
too much talking.
I know, I that rings true to me, because I know when we have written things together, to the extent that there are conflicts between us where we have disagreements about what should happen in a particular moment, with me, it's almost always you're writing too much, or you're having them say too much, or you're writing beyond the end of the bit. You know, it's like, okay, that's the end. That's it. Move on to something else. Don't keep dragging it out. And there were, like I said, there was a lot of that I felt like in this movie. Also, there are times when it feels like just a straight action movie with some quips thrown in. And I don't think that really does it any favors. I mean, when it leans into being a comedy and being absurdist, I think it works better. When it's just an action movie with a couple of jokes thrown in every now and then, it doesn't really work. And I think maybe that's
what are some of the scenes from that? Because I was just like, I don't see, like, I see it as a comedy with some action bits thrown in here and there.
Like pretty much everything that happens when they're at that weapons factory, the bakery, like there's I mean, it's basically just a straight action sequence with some jokes. There's nothing inherently funny or absurd about the situation. You know, it's like if you take out the one-liners, that could be a scene from a spy movie that's not a comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I think when you say the underlying premise is not funny, you're talking about it has a straight plot. You know, save the world, save the United States from the Russian nukes, basically.
Yeah, and there's not. It feels like when it works the best is when it leans into the absurdity, like with like the elaborate entrances, you know, things like that.
What did you think? Okay, when they're at the bakery and he gets captured and he goes to throw the phone at the guy, the element of surprise, and the cord doesn't reach.
That's a funny bit.
Okay.
That's a funny bit.
Because like the concept is not, the concept is straight, but the way it plays out is absurd. And that's like my impression of the whole thing. Like the concept is straight, but they just sort of take it kind of like you were talking about with the building at the end. Like it doesn't look like it's supposed to look like that.
Like it's supposed to look like that.
Yeah, it's warped. It's not that the whole thing is absurd. It's that it takes a straight premise and just looks at it through warped glass.
I will give it credit that, I mean, one of the mistakes that it doesn't make, that a lot of comedies made 10, 15 years ago made, especially ones that were sort of adapted from pre-existing properties to try and distinguish themselves from because you know the Get Smart TV series is considered a classic by a lot of people, and the movie wanted to obviously take advantage of that, but also, you know, this ain't your daddy's Get Smart, right? But it doesn't go too far with that. It's not particularly raunchy. It doesn't try to be edgy, you know what I mean? Like there's a couple of like gross out gags with him like puking in the airplane, or like him having the ass of his pants ripped out at the end and stuff like that. But there's not a lot of that, and it doesn't really lean into that. And you know, so that's kind of refreshing that it wasn't going out of its way to be like edgy and, you know, whatever. But
and it also doesn't do what a lot of like reboots now do, which is one of the things you hate, which is just pull in the actors from the old thing, make all sorts of call outs and use those instead of jokes. So there's
it does
prior to that era.
And actually, they used Missed It by That Much twice. And I wish they had just done it for the last one. Because if they, I mean, you figured, because it's like, okay, they're doing a Get Smart movie. He has to say that at some point. I mean, he doesn't have to, but you figure he's going to say it at some point. Having him say it at the end when he survives the train, that's the time to do it. But he says it, but he already said it. So it's like
here's my question
you spent
about
that already.
Because people are expecting that. If they throw it in early, they're not necessarily expecting it later. And that's where it matters. And you're not necessarily waiting for it anymore because that moment has passed. You fulfilled that.
Nah, it's better if he just says it once. It's better if he just says it once. And if he says it, and like I said, of the 2 times he says it in the movie, the second time is the better instance. So he should say that. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good audition for Catwoman for Anne Hathaway. And obviously it worked because she got the part, like I said, I mean, everybody in it gives a good performance, and everybody in it is a terrific performer. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Steve Carell. I mean, I think he's hilarious. I have nothing bad to say about Anne Hathaway. I've thought she's been brilliant in all kinds of stuff. Alan Arkin is a legend and is but it's just, God, the script is just so awful. And I mean, like the Bill Murray in a Tree. Bill Murray in a Tree was funny because he was just being Bill Murray in a tree. And he had like a little story, like he was lonely. He was all alone in the tree and he didn't want Max to leave because he had nobody to talk to.
I really didn't like that bit.
I thought that was one of the funnier bits in the movie. I mean, it didn't like kill me or anything, but it's like,
it was relatively funny, but it was completely unnecessary. Like it didn't fit in anywhere. They managed to squeeze it in. It felt shoehorned in.
It was a shoehorned in cameo for sure. I mean, but
was Bill Murray in Get Smart?
Bill Murray has, as far as I am aware, Bill Murray has no connection whatsoever to Get Smart.
So we were just like, you know what? Bill Murray has like a couple of days off of this other movie he's doing, or just a couple of days that he's available. Can we put something in? Can we have Bill Murray in a tree?
Bill Murray wants to.
But wait, why are we going to have his character not be around for the rest of it? We'll put him in a tree.
He's in a tree. He can't get out of the tree. Yeah. So yeah, it's like it had its moments, but for the most part, I wasn't super impressed by it. But I didn't hate it. I mean, hey, it's better than Moulin Rouge. I don't think that makes you feel any better, does it?
Well, I knew it was better than Moulin Rouge because you actually laughed a couple of times.
I did.
I knew you liked it better than you liked Moulin Rouge, which is not at all.
Do you know what my favorite joke? At least sitting here thinking about it, I think my favorite joke was the belt buckle pill joke. When he says, how do you put it in the other person's mouth?
How do you get them to take it?
How do you get them to take it? And she just looks at him and walks away. I was like, that everything about that was just right.
I like when a joke continues in different ways verbally. I like the stapler bit so much. There's so many different things I liked about it. First of all, you don't see it coming. It comes out of nowhere. The reactions are hilarious. Terry Crews, with his arms around him, trying to get the staple out. And
I like him using the staple remover.
We're not the kind of people that put staples in other people's heads. That's funny. And you don't like it, but I love that that's funny. And then that's some CIA crap. Love it. Like, I love that. See, you see it as like running the joke into the ground. I see it as adding another layer. Like, I don't know. I like that. That really works for me. And then I love that he's trying to get the staple out, that he's gotten the staple remover. So it's interesting. And I can forgive you for not loving it the way I do, because obviously we just have different perspectives on what we enjoy different things.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's okay, even though you're wrong.
Let us know in the comments what you think of the Get Smart movie if you've watched it.
And of course, your favorite movies. And I mean, we're open to, like, if one of us has seen it and really liked it, and the other one hasn't seen it at all, then it might be a candidate for our list. And And if not, I mean, I don't know. Steve doesn't watch his comments the way that I do. But yeah, I'd love to talk with you. And Steve, something pointed out that I'm pretty close to having a community board panel thing. So I might be able to post like polls and stuff about, your people's favorite movies on that.
There you go. That'd be great. All that viewer interaction that YouTube is like.
I have no idea how it works. I haven't used. I mean, I don't know if you do that on your channel, but I haven't ever done anything like that on anybody's channel. So I have no idea how it works.
It's easy. It's posting a poll. It's pretty much the same as posting a poll on Twitter or something.
Yeah, I haven't done that either.
You should do that. You should come up with a poll question and throw it up. See
what happens.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you probably in the next few days with another video.
Let us know whether you agreed with me that this was an awesome movie and it was fabulous, or if you agreed with Steve that it was just
Oh, you know what? Maybe I could put up a poll.
See, you have it already.
After the video comes out.
Yeah.
After everybody.
Who's right?
So you know what? Everybody who sees this, everybody who has watched this, watch on my community feed. I'll put up a poll in the next couple of days. So those of you who have seen Get Smart and have watched this video, who do you agree with? Am I right? Or is Dana right? There you go. We could make that a regular thing.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.